And so again, there's an order that these feasts fell in.
There's an order.
And like you said, the spring feast have been fulfilled, and
Right.
Joshua fulfilled them out to the T.
The very day, moment out. The first feast of the fall feast, we call fall feast, or the first appointment Yahweh had, okay, was the feast or the appointment of Passover. For 1,500 years, Yahweh taught them from the time at Mount Sinai until the feast of Passover, when Messiah was crucified. Now, what day was Messiah crucified on? What appointment was he crucified on?
Passover.
He was called. Let's look at some scriptures about the Passover, okay? Now he fulfilled the spring feast. Again, it's the Passover, unleavened bread, okay?
Shabbat.
A feast of weeks,
which is Pentecost.
right? The feast of first fruits, rather, and then Pentecost.
Right.
All right. He fulfilled that. That was a picture of his first coming. This is his first coming. He had two comings, right? Joshua would come back. The first coming, he would come as the suffering servant. That's what Joseph was a picture of. Joseph was the suffering servant. Remember that? How he was sold into slavery, okay? But how he rose up, from prison, from bondage, to be second in charge to Pharaoh.
Right under Pharaoh.
It was like a resurrection, okay? So, but he had to suffer first. That was a picture. He was teaching us how the Messiah would come the first time. As the suffering servant, been despised and rejected of his own brothers, a man of sorrow, acquainted with grief, okay? This is the first coming. That's what Messiah fulfilled, okay? And so here we see in the Passover, look what he says here, okay? Look at John, the book of John, chapter 1, all right? Look what John, this is the testimony he gives.
Uh-oh.
John chapter 1.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Here's what John had to say. Okay. Verse 29. Okay. This is after Yochanan had been mikvahin or baptizing Israel in the wilderness, telling them to repent. Return to Yah and the commandments, okay? Because the kingdom of heaven is near. Okay? It said the next day John seeth Yahshua coming unto him and said, Behold, the Lamb of Elohim, which take away the sin of the world. Now, when he said this is not just some idle statement that was made. He said it real low. Yeah, behold the Lamb. You see, like on the movies, behold the Lamb, which takes away the sin of the world. No, Yochanan is a priest, okay? He is from, his father Zechariah, right? So he's a priest. Only the priest could announce the Passover lamb.
Right.
Okay, only the priest.
Right.
So Yochanan, being a priest, saw Joshua. When he saw Joshua, he said, Behold, like this, behold, point at him, look, the Lamb of Yah, that take away the sin of the world. Okay? Mm-hmm. This is the Passover lamb. Mm-hmm. He is, in fact, pointing out the Passover lamb. And we will show you later on, maybe another series,
that it was custom
to do. That Yahshua is the Passover lamb. He fulfills all the requirements of the Passover lamb. And Yahshua's ministry was 1 year, not 3, 1. Because the Passover lamb must be a year old. Without blemish of the male. He was a male of the sheep or the goats. With no blemish, okay? And the whole assembly had to slay him. Lay their hands on him and slay him.
And that they did.
And they did that. But anyway, Yochanan said, Behold the lamb. What lamb? Say what's the world? The Passover lamb. Okay?
That was prophesied where?
Then he said, with the Passover lamb? Mm-hmm. We see it in the book of Exodus.
Genesis?
Well, yeah, initially in Genesis, right? Good. Initially in Genesis, right? Genesis first chapter 3.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's right.
In Genesis chapter 3, okay?
After they had sinned.
After they sinned.
Cain and Adam.
Yahweh spoke to, passed on the curse. Look what it says in verse 3:15. I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise his head. Thou shall, it shall bruise your head. You shall bruise his heel. Okay? And so, right here is the prophecy spoken that he will send forth the Redeemer to destroy and crush the head of Satan.
All the way in the beginning.
Okay? Then Yahweh did something very interesting. Okay? He did something very interesting. Look at, go down in verse 21. Adam said, and unto Adam also, and unto his wife did Yahweh Elohim make coats of skin and clothe them.
What chapter?
Genesis chapter 3, verse 21. Notice Yahweh clothed Adam.
Right.
With coats of skin.
Mm-hmm.
Where he get the coat of skin from?
Animal.
An animal. An innocent animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Innocent animal had to die that man may live. Thus he began to put in motion. Okay, look, there's going to come one who's going to die in your place. Just like this lamb, like this innocent victim died in your place. Okay, Adam, Kaiwa, so you may live. I've established this, so I will also send a lamb.
And you know why that was established?
Why?
Because what did Abel bring?
Abel brought forth in Genesis chapter 4, okay, verse verse, what was that?
Start
verse?
at 2.
Huh?
We'll just start at 4 and 1. And Adam knew Chawah his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gained a man from Yahweh. And again she gave birth to his brother Hebel. And Hebel or Abel became a keeper of the sheep.
Yes.
But Cain became a tiller of the ground. And it came to be in the course of time that Cain brought an offering of fruit of the ground to Yahweh, and Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And Yahweh looked to Abel and his offering.
Yes. And we know that offering was a lamb. That's why he accepted Abel's offering. He rejected Cain's offering, because Abel came with the sacrifice that Yahweh commanded.
The more perfect that Moses spoke about.
Yeah, you cannot bring to Yah what we want to bring to Yah. We must come his way. Yahweh said, I need a lamb. Without the shedding of blood, there is no remission of sin. And so we see Abel again fulfilling Yahweh's instruction by bringing forth a lamb. Okay? As a picture of the lamb that would come to take away the sin of the world. Okay?
That Yochanan spoke about, right.
Now, that Yochanan spoke about. Now, we know that Yahshua, again, is the Passover lamb. Because we see it. Let's go to the book of Matthew for a minute, okay? Alright, we're going to go to Matthew. And we see here, look at Matthew chapter 26. In verse 1 it says, it came to pass, when Yahshua had finished all these things, he said to his disciples, you know that the 2 days is the feast of Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be executed.
Man.
Okay?
Okay.
He told the disciples, in 2 days, it's going to be the feast of Passover. The Son of Man is going to be executed. What feast is he talking about? The feast of Passover. Look, let's go down a little bit more, okay? Let's go down to verse 18. Okay? I'm going to verse 17. Look what it says. And before the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahshua, saying unto him, where will you that we should prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, go into the city to such a man and say to him, the master said, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Yahshua had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. I want you to know that the Passover is not a day, but it is the lamb.
The lamb itself.
The lamb itself.
It's the Pesach.
The Pesach is called in Hebrew.
Lamb.
Yahshua is the Pesach. He's about to be prepared to be slaughtered.